hey, Zaz Champ, is he the best three-legged dog ever?
Alright, so from the other day you learned that the distance formula is d equals square root, and in parentheses you're going to have x1 minus x2 squared plus, in parentheses, y1 minus y2 squared. Alright, so we're going to try to, number one, find the distance between the 2 points on the graph. Alright, so the first thing you want to do is come over here and label your points. So remember, you always start at the origin. You're going to count over. Looks like we go to the left -5 and up 3. To get to this point over here, the second point, you go left 2, so -2, and down -3. Alright, now you want to label these points, and it doesn't matter which one you call x1, y1, so I'm just going to choose this one up here at the top, and the second one is going to be your x2 comma y2. Alright, and then from here you're going to just plug it into the formula. Since we have the formula written up above, we're not going to copy that down again. We are just going to come in here and we are going to say x1 is -5 minus x2, which is -2, so that becomes a +2 squared, plus y1, which is a 3, and then minus y2, which was a -3, so that also becomes a +3. Alright, and then that is squared. Alright, now we're going to do some simplifying here. Inside parentheses, remember the square root is a grouping symbol. You're going to go under there and then go into parentheses. So you're going to have parentheses -3 squared plus 6 squared. Alright, simplifying further, we're going to have -3 squared is 9 plus 36. And we get the square root of 45. And now we need to simplify that. Alright, so what's a perfect square that goes into 45? 9 times 5, and then simplifying exactly to 3 square root of 5. That is your exact value. You could also plug it into your calculator to get a decimal approximation, but that's exact. We'll start with that one for now. Alright, now, notice that your notation for the next problem, when you see A written beside B, that means find the distance. Notice there's no segments or rays over it. So AB means find the distance. Alright, so you're going to try that problem on your own and then come and show me the answer and the next one under that. Let's practice the midpoint formula here. Alright, so you have the formula is going to be that you're going to average the x values and then you're going to average the y values. So what that's going to look like is x1 plus x2 divided by 2, comma, y1 plus y2 divided by 2. Alright, so it says find the midpoint of GH, given that G is 7, -5. So we're going to label that x1, y1, and we're going to label H 9 as x2 and y2 as -1. Alright, so plugging into your formula, showing all your work, you would average the x's, so 7 plus 9 divided by 2, comma, average the y's, -5 plus -1, which would just be -1 divided by 2. Alright, simplifying, you're going to have 16 over 2 and -6 over 2. For a final midpoint of 8, -3. Alright, I'd like you to try the next problem and get that checked. Alright, for this next set of problems, you're going to be finding a missing endpoint. Example 1, find the coordinates of A if M, -1, 2, is the midpoint of segment AB and B has coordinates 3, -5. Alright, so notice here that the midpoint is given. Remember, that's the answer in the formula for midpoint. And B has coordinates 3, -5. So let's label that the second point, x2, y2, and you're trying to find x1 and y1. All right, so thinking about your formula, you're going to average the x's. You don't know the first x, so you're going to fill in x1 plus x2, which is 3, divided by 2. And you know that that answer, the first x value, is negative 1. All right, now to solve that, you're going to multiply both sides by 2. And those are going to cancel out here. So we get x1 plus 3 is equal to negative 2. And solving for that, we get x1 equals negative 5. All right, now you're going to follow the same procedure to find the y1 value. So you have y1 plus the y2 value of negative 5 divided by 2, and you know that that answer must be 2. All right, again, getting rid of the denominator, multiply both sides by 2. Get y1 plus negative 5 is equal to 4. And then subtracting 5, you get y1 is 9. All right, so your final answer, your end point, is negative 5, 9. All right, try the next two problems and get those checked. All right, the last section of examples. It says P is the midpoint of, this should have a segment over it. P is the midpoint of segment XY, so add that segment in there. XP, that means the distance from X to P is 8X minus 2. And PY, the distance from P to Y, is 12X minus 30. Find the value of X. All right, you've got to get a good picture for this. P is the midpoint of XY. So let's look at the segment XY. It says P is the midpoint. So what does that mean? It's exactly in the middle, meaning these two segments are congruent, XP and YP. All right, you know the value of XP is 8X minus 2. The value of PY is given as 12X minus 30. All right, so midpoint, it's exactly in the middle. These are equal. So you want to set up your equation as 8X minus 2 equals... Cleo, did you get it? Get it. Get it. Did you get that bug? 12X minus 30. All right, now you want to move your variables to the same side. I'm going to move the 8X over so I have a positive 4X minus 30 equals negative 2. Add 30 to both sides, giving me 28 equals 4X, and dividing by 4 is going to give me X equals 7. All right, it says find the value of X. That is 7. Now, if I want to check this, I can plug it in to see if my segments are the same length. So if I go back and plug this in over here, right over here. All right, let's see. 8 times 7 is 56 minus 2 would give us 54. All right, then over here we're going to have 12 times 7. 12 times 7 is 84 minus 30 would be 54. So sure enough, this segment is 54. This one is 54. So they are congruent, so our problem is correct. All right, try the next two problems. Now, when you get down to the last one, if you see the word bisects, bisects means that it cuts into two congruent parts. All right, good luck.